The limited edition transparent analog pockets have finally been released into the wild. I just received my orange version and I'm so excited to finally get to experience this handheld for the first time, and wow, this thing is beautiful. I am so fortunate that I was able to order and receive one of these devices, as the pre-orders for all of the colors sold out within about 12 minutes. Many of the analog devices over the years, including the Pocket, have generally been pretty difficult to obtain due to their extremely limited drops. Although the purple, which sold out within about 2 minutes of the pre-order, was my first color choice, I am so happy to be able to have at least gotten one in general. My Pocket was delivered to me in just 18 days after the September 29th pre-order day, which I would say is pretty fast considering Analog's historically long ship times. Gosh, it's huge. In the box, there is the transparent orange pocket, a USB-C to USB-C charge and data cable, and a small sticker and info sheet. I've had my eyes on the Pocket since I first learned about this device a couple years ago, since its design is an extremely elegant, modernized version of the iconic Gameboy silhouette. Up until now, I haven't been able to secure one of these, and while the black color of the original version caught my attention, I couldn't be happier to see these release in these fun, colorful variations. Now, out of the box, there is a brief optional tutorial you can take that shows you how to use the device's menus, and once you complete that, it'll take you to a QR code that tells you how to update it. I'll do that later because I'm really just excited about playing my old Game Boy cartridges in this thing. For those who haven't heard of the Pocket before, the defining feature of this is that the Pocket can readily play nearly the entire Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance collection of game cartridges. Oh, that's loud. Wow. Look how pretty the screen is. Now, as you can hear, the speakers on this thing are no joke. They can get extremely loud if you turn them all the way up. And the screen is incredible on this device, with a super high resolution and color reproduction and brightness that I would say is pretty close to what you can achieve on OLED, minus the blacks. I really wish that it would give you pure blacks. When you play official cartridges, Analogue gives you a few different screen filters to swap between, displaying games as they did in their original pixel grid alignment and color palette. They look great, but I think I prefer the more saturated default Analogue color filter. I made sure to get a glass screen protector for this, so I quickly put that on as soon as I got it out of the package. Just like a modern smartphone, this device has a sleep-wake button on the side. Press the button and you can wake the device up and start right back up where you were in your game. The button layout is like a combination of the Game Boy Color and Advance, with a D-pad on the left, 4 buttons on the right, 3 system control buttons on the bottom, and 2 bumper triggers on the back. On the bottom, there is a USB-C charge and data port, an LED indicator, IR blaster, just like the old Game Boy, headphone jack, and a Game Boy accessory port, which is pretty neat. On the left, there are power and volume controls and a speaker port, and on the right is a micro SD card slot with the right stereo speaker. Game Boy Color was essentially my first foray into the video game world, so being able to play some of my first ever childhood games really does spark a special feeling for me. And look, I even have my old password sheet from my Scooby-Doo game from when I was a kid too. Thank goodness we have save states now. I did have one game that gave me an error when I plugged it in to play, but after cleaning the contacts of the cartridge, it ended up working. I wish I would have ordered the official transparent Pocket case alongside my console. The shipping cost is just insane by itself, but thankfully my old DS carry case fits this Pocket perfectly, so I'm just going to use that for now. The color is seriously so vibrant that it glows when held in nearby light and beautifully shows off all of the tech inside, reminiscent of the transparent tech of the late 90s and early 2000s. Analogue did a fantastic job with the colors of all of the limited edition set from what I can see. The nostalgia just hits so good with this. I'm honestly pretty amazed by how great my old Game Boy games look on this thing. It truly makes me feel like I'm experiencing them in an entirely new way and seeing details and colors that I had never seen before when I played on my original Game Boy back in the day. I'll never forget when I received an atomic purple Game Boy for Christmas when I was just 5 years old, and getting this handheld really brings back a wave of nostalgia from when I felt back then. Overall, this retro-inspired device not only looks and feels amazing, but it makes reliving some of my old favorite games an absolute joy. I'm just a casual gamer, but I'm honestly pretty excited to try out some of the great handheld games that I never got to play in the past with this amazing screen. Let me know what you think about the Analogue Pocket and the special limited editions, and thanks for watching!